I mean, back to what you said about Kevin Conroy is the voice in your head you hear when you read the comics.
Yeah.
It's there's I mean a small handful of Batman comics out there, isn't there?
Just to say it lightly, yeah.
To say it lightly, you know. Again, it's some recommendations would be appreciated, I'm sure, by some people who maybe aren't as well read as you are.
Well, Batman in general is actually a great... Because you could go and pick a random Batman like trade, you know, like paperback off the shelf, and it's more likely going to be good than certain other characters.
No.
So it's a good place to start. There's more good stuff out there of him, which is a good place to start. And yeah, I mean, Long Halloween, year one's good, but maybe not what people would expect. The Long Halloween is the perfect place to start, because it's like, it's nice and long, but in a good way. The art's great, the writing's great, and it's like really early on in his career, so it kind of, with one or two exceptions, it introduces people rather than just like, oh, it's you again. Yeah, I don't feel like it overdoes it. Whoa!
Oh, this thing's got some speed to it. I think I've lost you.
Oh, this is awesome.
This is a bit crazy. I mean, like, it's actually a good way of putting it. It's like you said, there's not really that much in terms of bad. Okay, sweet.
Well, Batman's the type of character, right? Even if you go into not like a comic shop, but a Waterstones or what have you, an HMV, you know, places that sell comics but they're not comic shops. The stuff that they're gonna have with Batman is good stuff. Some of the stuff they have with like Harley Quinn or Deadpool is kind of hit and miss. Some of it is like shite.
Aye, yeah, no, exactly. I would say that's very true. There's not a Batman comic I've picked up that I've been like, that was absolutely unreadable. I would never even look at.
There's garbage ones out there, but the garbage ones, like you know, at a comic shop you'd find them. But and if you go into HMV, Waterstones, what have you, the Batman stuff they're gonna have is gonna be good stuff.
Aye.
So it's a good place to start out in that regard.
It was interesting. I mean, one of the sort of recent DC titles I was reading was like Deceased.
Oh, I thought that was great.
It was good, but they take out Batman surprisingly early in the whole affair.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call that a spoiler because of how early he's taken out. But the thing I liked about that is, you know, it ups the stakes. You're like, whoa, if they're getting rid of him so quick, then who's going to be next? Like, nobody's safe. So I kind of liked it in that regard.
He's typified as kind of the brains of the outfit to an extent.
There was, which I'm not saying he isn't, but there was one bit that I was like, nah, that would never happen. It's like Lex Luthor says, I'm the smartest man in the world, and then he goes, wait a minute, is Batman dead already? Yeah, okay, I'm the smartest man. Like, basically saying, oh, maybe Batman's smart. I mean, number one, he's not, and number two, Lex Luthor would admit it if he was. So that, I was kind of, but no, Deceased I thought was great. Good artwork and everything as well.
You're getting a solid product.
Ring. Long Halloween I'd definitely recommend, and the sequel Dark Victory that people seem to forget about.
I was going to say I've never even heard of it.
It's
It's
a sort of direct sequel. I think it's great.
Get the fuck in there.
Maybe not as good as Long Halloween, but still 100% like 10 out of 10 recommend. Batman Hush is one of those ones that
I like Batman Hush.
Hipsters are now retroactively trying to say they never liked it for some reason. When I say hipsters, I mean Cara and dickheads like that. But you know, Batman Hush is amazing. I recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it as your first foray into comics if you're not familiar. All Star Batman and Robin by Frank Miller and Jim Lee is amazing. It's got a reputation as being like one of the worst Batman stories ever written, and those people are wrong. It is absolutely brilliant. But the reason I say you shouldn't read it first is you need to have the right mindset. You need to realise that it's not a Batman story, it's a parody of a Batman story. I highly doubt that was intentional in what they were going for, but it's hilarious and the artwork in it is brilliant. And yeah, if you're quite well versed in Batman comics and you haven't read it, I'd recommend it, honestly. I think it's absolutely amazing.
I thought maybe something to do with that. Yeah, I mean, I read it after you, and I was like, I could see the appeal of it.
Yeah, what did you think? Were you not as sold?
I didn't think it was like it didn't shape my world or anything.
Yeah,
but it was good enough. Certainly, I didn't think it was. It does merit criticism, but
oh yeah, sure.
I've seen like I said, there's not a bad title really. All right, sweet. That was good of them. I guess I'll just drag this along with me. There isn't a bad title, but there are titles that are certainly better than others.
Aye.
Okay, I can't go this way. Let's drag this thing this way.
I'm trying to do some more.
Some Batman thing you thinks about. Batman, is it? I don't know if it's Batman versus Judge Dredd, but Batman and Judge Dredd.
Yeah, that was great.
I just picked that. I just randomly picked that up in a wee shop somewhere.
It's a short kind of one shot.
Yeah.
Excellent. Artwork might not be everybody's cup of tea. It's that sort of painted, quite abstract style.
Yeah.
I wasn't sold on it at first, but it fits the story. It's pretty good.
It's like you say. It's that sort of weird shape. Everything's a weird, disproportionate shape.
Yeah.
Batman's got pure, absolutely ginormous horns. If you can drag that along with you as well. Try and drag these. Come on.
I'm trying to think of some slightly more.
A lot of it's hard because I tend to find he teams up with fools. I mean, you've got the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
And more recently, the Three Jokers.
I think
but
Three Jokers is great. I've read it so many times. Again, the artwork's just so good in it. Definitely, I have issues with the story, but it's one of those ones that instead of wishing it was something else, I just take it for what it is, and I really like what it is.
Aye.
The artwork's great, and the story, I don't know, it feels important. The stories where you're just kind of you just know at the end we're gonna hit the reset button and nothing kind of matters. I didn't get that feeling. You feel like it's actually some stuff's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one.
White Knight.
Oh yeah, I'd recommend White Knight. I thought it was great. Curse of the White Knight, I couldn't get into, but I need to try that again because I think I was just really busy when I was trying to read it or something like that. Because it's the same guy. It's Sean Gordon Murphy, or yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah, that's the sequel. Yeah, White Knight I thought was great. Arkham Asylum I have not read, as in not the game tie-in, the original Arkham Asylum from the 90s. I have not read it in a long time, but I remember really enjoying it. It's that same sort of, well, it's not the same, it's totally different, but it's a real abstract kind of art style.
I remember it. I wasn't blown away, but you can appreciate it just for what it is. I bring him over here.
Maybe I think when I first read it, I was probably too young, because I think I was 14 or 15, so I wanted to see fight scenes, not pure
chat.
Not psychological analyses and shit like that.
Well, it's interesting. I was reading Batman: The Last Arkham, and again, it's kind of a more psychological thing, and there's not much fighting. But it's one of the first appearances of hey, where are you going? Of Victor Zsasz. Get over here. There you go. He did. Well, that was easy. Victor Zsasz, and it's really good. Because it was out about the same time as Silence of the Lambs. And it's got Zsasz in a pure steel box. Just his smile pure peering through. And then you've got this guy, obviously, who's cutting himself every time he makes a kill. Just introducing a character like that, you're he's just fits in perfectly in the Marvel universe, not Marvel universe, the DC universe. But he's been, to me, thoroughly underutilized. I think he appears in the start of Batman Arkham Asylum, but other than that, I don't think you really get Zaz again.
Not really, no. He has a cameo in Arkham Knight that's very easy to miss. You know, when you're scanning the footage to look for where the Arkham Knight took Barbara. There's a little cameo there of him you can find.
But in this book, he's actually really good. He's kind of the central villain. I mean, there's a scene where pretty much all the villains come to beat the shit out of Batman.
Yeah.
But it's all orchestrated by him, and it's like just the way he's built up. It's that way. Good storytelling is a bit of a show. So have other characters talking about the character. Don't have the character like talk about themselves at all.
No.
You know, people are like, oh, I'm from like a tragic background and all that. It's like, no, it's other people talking about it. And like, oh, did you hear like last week how he like fucking bit one of the guards' ears off? And then it's like showcase him a wee bit. So he's like, every time he's taken out of his cell, he's got like one of those steel things around his neck with the long poles with like 4 guards around him.
Yeah.
So like no one's ever in his vicinity. And he's like that. He goes in the shower and he goes like that. Still no soap. Still no soap to Dr. Arkham, and Arkham's like that. Not after what happened last time. You know what I mean? You feel like, what happened last time? You know what I mean?
Someone dropped it.
Well, you know what I mean? He's like fashioning weapons. You know what I mean? It's like that. That's kind of good storytelling. You don't just have the main villain talk about how amazing
What
they
a
are.
badass he is.
Exactly. You just again a bit of show don't tell, but if you are gonna tell, have it like.
Someone else.
Multiple means. So Dr. Arkham will talk to him occasionally. The guards will talk amongst themselves about him. Batman, because he's fairly new to Batman. Batman's like, I don't really know his deal. I don't know what I need to do to fight him, and in the end, just beats the shit out of him anyway. Because it's the sort of early Batman, where fighting's not the main focus of the story. Plus, Nightwing's there too. So what's not to like? But aye, just a general good read of Batman comics for anyone wanting to get started, I think.
The entire New 52 for Batman was good. It was good to Batman, the New 52. It was not very good to some other characters, but pretty much all of Snyder and Capullo's stuff is at least good. Some of it's better than others, but it's at least good. It's all worth a read in my opinion.